Right, we are ready to go. I've got the Viper versus MbL game loaded up. This is going to be a Goths war. Once again, Arabia. So this was probably Team Random Civs. I think they played 3 games with Team Random Civs in each, and I think the result between the two of them was 2-1 across the 3 games. But I don't know which of the games that they won. So. No idea which player will actually win this particular game we're looking at right now, although Viper did win a kind of best of 3 rated game series between the two players 2-1, proving, as somebody's saying in the chat right now, that Viper does indeed still have it. Don't forget that he has been at the very top of this game for some years now, and a month away isn't really going to see him lose all of his skills. I mean, it is literally only a month since he was more active. It's not as like it's Arch Common coming out of retirement 2 years ago and finding that the game has changed dramatically and people don't make 50 skirmishes in Feudal Age and then go 6 stable knights all in anymore. It's pretty interesting actually. Like I think when that clash between Coven and RD Champion happening in the TyRanT War, KCAB was trying to teach the two players about how the game had changed in the intervening years since like the early mid 2000s when those guys were a lot more active. Martin, wow. Hello. Here to watch a game between your two countrymen. Can't wait for the days when you're in Norway alongside these guys. You and Rabelbach. Alright then, let's start messing around and have a look at this game. We've got Viper in blue and MbL in green. I'm not going to enable team colours unless people decide that they really need it, because I don't think green and blue is too bad, although I do admit it's not the best combination. Both players, Goths, playing as the Goths. Looking at the maps, yeah, Viper has more or less everything forward. Like his main goal's somewhat off to the side and not a bad spot at all. It's pretty close to the TC, but Wood is the lumber line that he's being forced to take is forward. He'll probably end up having to put 2 lumber camps there because there's not really anywhere else for him to go. Left side is everything's really far away. There's just no wood on the right side. It's a really open map. I mean, as Goths, like, you can only palisade or building wall anyway, but Viper doesn't have much chance to kind of close off avenues of attack for MbL, just except perhaps doing some construction across this area. Secondary golds and tertiary gold very far forward and both zones off towards the left, so not a great map for Viper, and MbL could look to abuse that. Meanwhile, for MbL, the map is looking a lot better. The wood isn't quite as vulnerable, especially if he maybe does like a wall here or something. The palisade there later on will be quite nice, I should think, and he can also do a palisade here and then kind of build across the front with the military and stuff, keep his army there, and he's got a great base. 2 golds including his main goal right at the back, deer next to his mill, and then he doesn't really have too much in the way of like pesky hills across the front or anything. 3rd gold is somewhat far away, but everything else he needs is quite close to hand and easily protected, so a better map for MbL. Maybe this hints at this being the game that he won out of the 3. Who knows? We'll have to see. MbL with 4 on wood right now, sending a villager out here. That is looking... I was about to say that was the barracks builder, but looking at the game time, it's a little bit would be a little bit early to see that barracks coming up, and indeed MbL needs to lure his 2nd ball. Maybe we'll see this villager going out to build a barracks once she finishes the house and doing a drush. Viper did 3 on wood, so let's see if he does drush off the back of that. He'd have to think not. Sending a villager out here towards these deer. Perhaps he's going to go and mill those. Yeah, sending 3 villagers over there. In fact, he may not bother to mill them because with the Goths advantage, you know, sending 3 villagers, you can get all the meat. Okay, he is going to mill them, but I was going to say, it's as Goths like carrying that extra meat. Hang on, Yeah, 1 second. I have to remind myself. It can't. Yeah, it's hunters, not just boar. Yeah, carrying the extra meat means that you can send 3 villagers out with the Goths, get all the food off the deer, and they're not that far from the TC, so not a terrible idea. If he chose not to mill those, but for MbL things are so much better. Like this, he can use 1 mill for his berries and gather from the deer, not having to dump the extra 100 wood. We see barracks has gone down for MbL. Is he producing militia? Yeah, he is. Not actually sitting on a bank of food at all just now, so definitely going to be doing a drush and then probably more of an FC approach for Viper. He's clicked up to the feudal age and sending 2 villagers to gold, so looking like man-at-arms oriented build for him possibly, although he hasn't built the barracks just yet. So not producing militia on the way to the feudal age, so perhaps that's not what he's doing at all. We'll have to see. I'd just like to inform you of the results of the first round of Master of Islands. Both Ravelbach and Eric Olavsson have gone through. Yeah, I saw Ravelbach went through, but I'm not worried because he's ran headfirst into none other than Pike in the second round. So that's the end of his challenge. And I don't know who Eric Olavsson has got next, but I'm not scared that I'm going to have to pay up. Let's put it that way. Viper. Yeah, for people who don't know what I'm on about, I was saying I would donate more towards the prize pool of Master of Islands if one of the Norway B guys, one of the villains guys wins the tournament. So that's what Martin in the chat is referencing. Viper does know about MbL's barracks, presumably saw that early enough, or maybe even saw the militia to know the drush was coming in. That drush from MbL's gonna hit Viper's villagers gathering from the deer, and MbL doing a good job of blocking that villager, and it should go down now, which had 25 food on it as well, so not only killing the villager but killing 25 food and forcing those villagers away from the deer. So Viper dropped a mill, 100 wood, just to get 1.5 deer in, and probably won't be able to gather the rest of them now. So really great advantage there for MbL in the sense that he's gathering all these deer. His drush has already been worth it, and Viper going with the kind of more man-at-arms build, going up faster. His economy's not going to be in such good a state, and I guess MbL is probably I mean, he may choose to drush flush, but I guess he, with the map that he has, maybe looking at more of a fast castle approach, and he's going to have an okay chance of doing a good time here if he wants to go up quickly. Viper going to do the man-at-arms and finally drive away those militia from the deer. He'll presumably send some villagers out to try and take. Actually, it looks like MbL must have killed one of the deer, lamed one of the deer with his militia, but one survives at least 1 HP on it. But Viper's going to go forward. He's adding more man-at-arms. Okay, I love to see this when players just do a ton of man-at-arms with Goths. Those militia for MbL going to get cleaned up so easily now. Viper is on stone, so going to see man-at-arms and towers from him. 1 tower in that little niche there can take away the entirety of MbL's wood line, force him all the way over here, which will represent a ton of idle time, and then another tower could come up there. So if Viper's able to get that tower up without MbL counter-towering it, that will be a great play for him. So let's see if he's able. MbL, do you know about this? You know that Viper's scout is going over there, so Viper would be... Okay, MbL is seeing that extra man-at-arms, so he knows something up, and MbL perhaps sniffing danger here, putting an outpost on this hill. But the problem for him is that is not going to show him, and I do wonder whether MbL saw that tower earlier. Should have perhaps have turned off unit spy, because he seemed to know that it was going up. But he's going to migrate up here, put a tower at the top of the hill, which will prevent any more towers from springing up sort of up here, but still Viper should be able to get one maybe here if he likes, which should take away basically all of this, and MbL's wood gathering operation is being massively interrupted right now. MbL's going to add some archers to help drive away the man-at-arms, but there's a hole here and the man-at-arms are in. It looks like some of them went round the back as well, and now MbL's wood line is under so much danger, and as the villagers retreat from the man-at-arms, they're coming under fire from Viper's towers as well. Doesn't look like too many casualties have been sustained thus far, but this is a ton of idle time where MbL isn't gathering any wood, and now we start to see some casualties coming in. MbL is 2 villages, 3 villages behind Viper, and Viper's going for this tower here, which is going to be huge on the wood line of MbL. Completely takes this away now, and may even give him a base from which to push closer towards the gold, although the overlapping fields of fire from the TC and this tower may prevent that at least. The archers might be able to, but the tower is going to go up surely. It's about 90% done now, and Viper's got 4 villagers on it. Trying to dodge TC fire. 1 or 2 villagers for Viper might go down, but the damage has been done now that this tower has gone up. MbL has to not been gathering wood for about a minute or so now. He's lost a couple of villagers, or a couple of villagers more than Viper has lost at this point, and he's got idols here, he's got idols here. Huge disruption. He's going to have to come and build at least one extra lumber camp on the left hand side, so this is paying off so much for Viper. And I said, like, would he be able to get a tower threatening the gold? And I wondered whether the overlapping fields of fire between the TC and the tower would prevent that, but there's no villagers here for MbL to jump into the TC. I mean, I think that really ought to be able to reach those villagers, but MbL doesn't even have villagers by the TC to shoot at the tower builders. Okay, he's going to go for the quick wall. Love to see this kind of messy game. And that tower will be denied, which will keep MbL in better shape, much better shape than if it had actually managed to go up. Let's take a look at resources. MbL sitting on pretty good resources now. Viper a lot less, but he's sending more villagers forward and more man-at-arms. Man, he's going ham in this game. That's all I can say. Certainly not the same kind of passive macro-oriented style that we saw in the previous game against Mahori. Well, I won't say passive, I'll say just focusing on macro and a bit of raiding. Fletching coming out to augment those towers now. Viper throwing up that tower on the back of the wood line, because he knows, he can't see, but he knows by the fact that MbL can't, I mean, unless MbL had a forest here, then he knows MbL has to be here, so just doing the tower there, he knows he's going to hit the jackpot. And MbL just about to throw up some stone mining operations on the left hand side, and that will be denied by the tower too, so going to be a waste of another 100 wood on the mining camp. Man-at-arms moving in as well, and would have denied any attempt to counter tower by MbL, even if he saw it and tried to do a tower here, although probably didn't have the stone in the bank actually, considering he's only just gone to stone and he built a tower over here. And now Viper has more or less MbL's entire map under lockdown. After a kind of dodgy start almost, where he was lost a villager and was pushed away from his deer, and MbL looked to be in a good position to execute a drush FC. Viper's just sheer aggression and intelligent tower placement, the number of man-at-arms that he's added has really put him in the ascendancy in this game. He's even getting this tower up here, which is just so cheeky. Gonna do so much damage to every area of the map that MbL actually has the opportunities to take resources from, because MbL has brought his lumberjacks back here to gather wood, literally under the fire of Viper's towers, because he doesn't have anywhere else to gather wood. At least for MbL, he's clicked up to the Castle Age, and a siege workshop may be his salvation, although Good luck collecting the wood to actually build a siege workshop and the siege weapon as well. So Viper, having done the damage but not really having anything to anything much to continue attacking or encroaching still further into MbL's base, gonna bring back his villagers that he still has forward, defend with towers at home, and focus on getting up to the castle age himself, which he's close to being able to do. So by the time he clicks up, MbL should be more or less there, and we'll see what MbL is able to make of that difference in castle age times, whether he's able to make up for the incredible disruption that he has suffered to his economy in the last 5 minutes or so. He may... oh my god, is that another tower? Viper, you are trolling hard in this game. I didn't realise he still had 2 villagers left in MbL's base. If this goes... yeah, MbL's going to cap the tower and say, no sir, you are not getting that up. Although, the amount of villagers there, we'll see it easily go up actually. Yeah, MbL's easily got to win that tower race. I just wondered for a second whether the amount of hit points that Viper had on that tower was giving him enough of a head start, but it wasn't. Is Viper really going to try and sneak a tower like here or something? That would be really funny. Yeah, I like MbL maybe too busy trying to just clean up all the crap that's in his base to actually make much of this earlier castle age time here. And the issue for him is that he went up to the castle age with 35 villagers, while Viper was going up with 45 villagers. So for that whole time that you're advancing, Viper's got pretty much a quarter more economy, although it is fair to say a few villagers are forward. Nonetheless, MbL with some crossbowmen getting bodkin arrow, whereas Viper doesn't have anything like that. Only got man-at-arms on the field, as far as I can see, which are easy prey to the crossbowmen, and that should enable MbL to do a little bit of raiding, maybe get a couple of picks, whilst Viper actually goes down the knight's route. See Bloodline, the Scale Barding Armor kicking him. We'll go and have a look at his stables, see where they are, whether he's on just the 1 or maybe 2. Once we see these men-at-arms cleaned up and seeing if the crossbows manage to actually do anything. But there's so many towers here. Those crossbows are gonna die if they loiter under those towers for too long. MbL is just getting buffeted from tower to tower here. They're gonna lose all those crossbows almost certainly now. Viper with a nice quick wall here to stop the crossbows just sitting under the towers and cleaning up all of the villagers that couldn't get into the tower. And MbL laughing at them, just running into the forest of towers. These guys are having fun playing these games. Good friends, of course. Tim taught me. I love it. Okay, where are those stables, Viper? Okay, 2 stables in the back of the base. Presumably, MbL's crossbow expedition did not locate those. No, indeed. So the knights could come as a surprise when they start flinging into MbL's base. I think they're a great option because MbL's not closed off by any means, and if Viper just sent 4 knights down either the left or right edges of the map and looped round to the back, they could be absolutely devastating and take out a ton of MbL's villagers. So MbL's going to try and raid this wood line with some crossbows. Having visited Viper's base and seen the towers everywhere, he pretty much knows that staying on the northern side of this forest is his only opportunity to pick up villager kills, but he's doing so effectively here, just staying just out of range of the tower, picking up 2 villagers, a little bit extra idle time on the wood line. Gonna move in here, may be able to pick a villa or 2 off the TC builders, but +1 Bloodlines Knights versus this number of crossbowmen should be able to clean them up, and Viper's going to get a good pincer as well to make sure he wins this fight without taking too much HP damage on any of those knights. Okay, one of them goes down, but that's gone pretty well for him, killing, I don't know, 6-7 crossbowmen, the loss of 1 knight. MbL with a TC up on the back, which is going to be really important for him. If Viper floods those knights into the back of MbL's base, that TC has now provided a safe haven for some of MbL's villagers. With no TC there, knights appearing by that gold mine could have resulted in a bloodbath. Looks like Viper's going to loop round to the left hand side, use this open left hand side of MbL's base as a route into his economy, which he was hoping will be unprotected, but he will discover that that TC's there. Viper on extra TC in the wood line to the right, desperately needed to secure more wood. We noted at the start of the game that this was his only accessible wood line, at least until the mid game, and he's just on that second TC for now. Collecting quite a lot of stone as well, so perhaps going to go for a castle sooner rather than later. MbL also sitting on kind of 300 plus stone as well, so both players could be on good course to get castles out before too long. Viper with horse collar just now though. Ugh, that's horrible. At least he doesn't have too many farms. That's... But MbL with handcart. Neither player has many farms actually. MbL's barely got enough farms to run 2 TCs, considering the ones they're actually working on. I don't know how, looking at his eco, I don't know how he's not on like thousands of gold, because he seemed to have like 15 villages on gold for absolutely ages, and he doesn't have a ton of crossbows. Let's be fair about that. Continuing to mount up stone. Okay, he's spent some gold on at least one monk. Does he yet know about Viper's stables? Oh, of course he does, he saw the knights here. But he hasn't seen the stables themselves. Yeah, so he's done one monk, going to help him defend at home, but one monk wouldn't stop a massive knight onslaught if that was what Viper was preparing for him. Castle is almost ready though for MbL. Interested to see where he places it. He may just choose to put it right amongst his economy at the back, just to protect it all from raiding. Those knights from Viper moving on his economy, I just want to quickly flick to here to see what's going on here. Okay, those are idle crossbows for MbL. So Viper's going to raid underneath all these towers and TCs, taking a lot of fire, but picking up good numbers of villager kills. I think he's killed, I don't know, 4 or so now, and killed the monk, inflicting more idle, and now the kills are starting to mount up. Almost a 10 villager difference opening up between the two players, and Viper continues to kill villagers. MbL being put so far behind here. He's got 32 idols out of 41 villages, and has almost a 20 villager difference between the two players opened up now. That is an incredible payoff for, I don't know, what was it, 6 knights? 6 knights under the fortifications of MbL, taking all that fire, and a monk there and a couple of crossbows, and he still kills in excess of 10 villagers at least, and idols almost the entire economy of MbL. Never something that you want to happen in a Goths war, because like the first player perhaps to start truly spamming as only the Goths can, that can be a hole that you can't dig yourself out of if it's the enemy doing it. So economic damage is a really big thing in a Goths war. I know that's a bit of a redundant statement because it's a big thing in any matchup, in any game, but Goths do require a large economy to make their power truly be felt in the later game. So MbL is going to do this castle on the front to try and get rid of all the towers that Viper has in his base. Going to enable him to gain access properly once again to this wood line. I mean, he's been unable to really build up more of a farming eco because he hasn't been able to take wood very effectively at all. And MbL is really just lucky in disarray right now. Half of his population is idle. He's built the castle, but his villagers are still under TCs, under the towers, getting shot to bits and not being retasked. He remains roughly 20 villagers behind Viper. He did get some picks here, but looks like his crossbow army, if not wiped out, will be reduced to nothing. Yeah, they're going to be wiped out. And although Viper has basically no military left on the field now, the damage to MbL is just enormous. Like, MbL was a long way behind in terms of eco, but when he built that castle, he'd like committed 20 vils to building it and then left them all idle underneath the castle. It's like his heart wasn't in the game then already, I think, because just digging a bigger and bigger hole for himself by not retasking those villagers to eco. And you've got to applaud the job that Viper did in just denying MbL the ability to collect resources and just wasting, getting him to waste wood on building extra production buildings when he had no wood gathering operation, and then taking that away from him to then, as we saw a few minutes ago, that raid with the knights was just amazing. The return on investment in that knights was just astonishing because he idled pretty much the entire economy as well as killing well over 10 villagers with it. So great game by Viper. This wasn't the game in the series that MbL won. So we didn't see upset here, or an upset by reputation, you could say. Interesting stats with MbL, gathering 4,000 extra gold there, but it didn't ultimately pay off for him. The map control was the big factor, really. The fact that Viper just locked MbL down. See villager differences and kill to death differences there, due to the fact that MbL just didn't have any wood, didn't have any space, couldn't grow his economy, couldn't keep his villagers safe, didn't have anywhere to put them to work. Would have been an easy map win for almost any player, but Viper found a way. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily just say automatic map win, but I was saying at the start of the game that this was an advantageous map for MbL. 2 golds in the back. If he'd done some extra palisade walling perhaps across the left and right, as is his tendency to wall quite a bit, let's be fair, then he could have had an easier time, although towers across here would have still taken away his wood line. You know, the map screamed something of a drush into a faster castle time, if not a drush fast castle. And MbL opened with that strategy. But like you say, Viper found a way with just denying map control. And you know, like his timing with these towers was perfect, because it meant that MbL, having kind of fought to hold on to this area and then doing a mass migration from here, he went over here and then immediately had to evacuate there as well, and he ended up going back over here. Like, you can't underestimate the damage that it does to you to have 10, 15 villagers walking from here to here, dropping 200 wood and buildings, and then walking all the way back over here and building another 100 wood over here. Like, even if none of those villagers got killed, it is a crippling blow which kills the player and kills their chances in the game. Right.